The Gambia OIC Secretariat on Tuesday received a high-powered security delegation from the Republic of Turkey on a security assessment mission in the country ahead of the OIC summit scheduled for later this year. Following the launch of another nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign by the Ministry of Health, Gordon Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF, the Gambia representative, has implored the public, including children as young as 12, to take the vaccine and to follow the WHO guidelines. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. President Barrow on Tuesday urged the new cabinet ministers to think and act in the interest of the country as he presided over the swearing-in of the new vice president and ministers at the State House in Banjul. Alusise reports.
The swearing-in of the new cabinet comes almost a week since President Barrow reshuffled his cabinet and appointed a new one after his re-election on 4 December 2021. Members of the cabinet, led by Vice President Badra Ali Juf, took the prescribed oath of office, allegiance and secrecy in the presence of President Barrow and their family members. The ministers are Dauda A. Jallow, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, Sidi Keita, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Sering Modou Njai, Minister of Defense, Siaka Sonko, Minister of Interior, Hamad Nkeba, Minister of Tourism and Culture, Sirif Abbas Sanyang, Minister of Lands, Regional Integration and Religious Affairs, Damba Sabali, Minister of Agriculture, Ibrahim Silla, Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, Minister of Health, Kolodiana Kool, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Fatou Kinte, Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Abdoulaye Diop, Minister of Petroleum and Energy, Musa S. Drame, Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources, Professor Pierre Gomez, Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Rohi John Manjang, Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Bakari Y. Baji, Minister of Youth and Sports, Lamin Queen Jammeh, Minister of Information, and Babakar Usmaila Diouf, Minister responsible of Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery. Salimata E.T. Toure, Secretary General and Head of Civil Service, also took her oaths. President Barrow said the appointment of these ministers signifies the trust he has in them and their ability to guide the policy direction of their various ministries, in close collaboration with their permanent secretaries and technical teams. However, he warns them that while it is an honor to hold such high positions, the challenges they will confront could be as many and complicated as the tasks and roles they will have to perform both in and out of office.
You have been identified and appointed at a time when our national institutions require strong leadership, responsive policies, transformative programs, and better results that can positively and effectively impact on national development and the quality of life in the country. Cabinet ministers are generally considered to be political appointments, but it must be realized that you will have to ensure that your ministries are run by competent staff.
The Gambian leader reminded the new ministers that their appointments come at a time when Gambians want government to be held accountable.
This is an era in which the citizens are better informed and politically more active. They now enjoy a sense of freedom of expression, association and participation in national issues, and are determined to fight corruption. As a result, public figures must think, act and behave differently in the national interests.
The Gambia's new Vice President, Badra Ali Diouf, on behalf of his cabinet colleagues, thanked President Barrow for the trust bestowed on them to serve their country. He challenged his colleagues to be more determined and work as a team to addressing the pressing issues confronting the country.
The appointment to cabinet is a privilege one, but the position is not driven by privileges. It is and should be driven by performance, by results, by delivery, and by development.
The coming weeks and months will be interesting as Gambians closely watch the change that the new ministers will bring to their ministries in terms of output, attitude, and commitment to work. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, 3 young men have been charged with attempted murder after an incident in which 2 boys were put through a dreadful ordeal, which they did not think they would survive. Babukar Cisse tells us what happened and how the police came to arrest and charge the suspects.
The incident happened on the 3rd of May 2022 at Mandinari in the West Coast region. According to Inspector Aliou Jamanka, the assistant police spokesperson, the Regional Police Task Force received a tip-off about the incident in which 2 boys were being held hostage by a gang whose alleged ringleader, Yaya Gassama, is a returnee from Libya. That is when the police swiftly sprang into action against the gang that calls itself Entourage.
Upon receipt of the information, a team led by the task force reached out the place, and the suspect were found to have tied 2 boys and tortured them severely after dumped them into a well, an abandoned well, and set them on fire.
The police then led journalists to the first crime scene.
This is the well, which is approximately 3 to 4 meters deep. This is where the victims were thrown into. Then the grass was thrown onto them, and it was set ablaze.
According to reports, the 2 victims were stripped naked. As the grass burnt from the top of the well and gradually went down into the well, the smoke began choking the victims and the heat became unbearable. That is when they managed to climb through the inferno, sustaining serious burns. However, the alleged perpetrators, Yaya Gassama, Abba Demba, and Amadou Bailo Jallo, were sitting under a nearby tree, perhaps thinking their victims were already dead. However, more agony awaits the 2 victims. This final ordeal inflicted on them by the alleged perpetrators could have been fatal.
From the well they were led here. The victims were pushed into the river where they were supposed to be drowned or killed. So upon arrival here, the police were on their way coming. But thank God they were being rescued by these gallant men here. This is the task force, West Coast Region Police Task Force, who are doing a tremendous good job here. And I must say that the hard work of these men led to saving the lives of these young men here. So on behalf of the IGP, I want to express, the police command's appreciation to their gallant efforts. They are under the leadership of their commander, Chief Inspector Musanget.
Commissioner Pate Jallo of the West Coast region calls on the public to help make police work easier.
Such type of incidents or any incident that have happened within their area, we are urging them to report to the police in time, without which it will be very difficult whenever it is reported not in time for us to be able to get to the matter in the way that the public or the way that we may want it.
Commissioner Maulud Fall of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency advised people to abide by the law.
You cannot feel that you are offended and you take people hostage and then torture them. It is very unlawful. But rest assured, with the help of the other security services, we will try by all means, anywhere, wherever we are given information, we will reach there to make sure that we will fight against drug and fight against all criminal related matters.
Both the victims and the alleged perpetrators lived in Mandinari village, and there are reports that they are members of the same gang and the incident may be associated with a drug-related dispute. Nonetheless, 3 members of the entourage gang, Yaya Gassama, Abba Demba, and Amadou Bailo Jallo, have been charged with attempted murder in relation to this incident and are awaiting trial. Babakar Sise, QTV News.
Well, some disturbing news there. We'll now go for a short commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
2022 loolu laa wax de man waaw kay boo gisee nag ñu di ko waajal depuis léegi dañoo bëgg nag yokku cere dolli ñeex li ko war a nag QTV dañu bëgg saa yu ñuy def dara képp ku ci nekk rek gis ci sa bopp moo war a nag this time ñu bëgg koo yokku nag yaatal ko nag géew bi nag dañu ko yaatal ba mu yaatu lool ba tax ñu ngi woo designers yépp ci biir réew mi waaye yow mi nekk sax bitim réew bëgg ñu wane nag say product jokkal ak QTV da ci am solo nag bu baax a baax ba tax nag ki nga xamante ne piis day jaay ci marché bi bëgg naa wane ay piisam ak ay xeetu piis di mu yor ñëwal ci biir Tobaski ak Style 2022 moom la ñuy waajal xanaa war naa neex dama ne nag kaay leen ngeen won ma seen mënin ma wax leen seeni cumbukaay ba tax nag jokkoo leen ak ñun ci nu mu gën a gaawee ci 32 44 444 ak QTV ak Tobaski ak Style yéen ñi rek di tax toog yow rek ci jongoma cey
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. The Gambia OIC Secretariat on Tuesday received a high-powered security delegation from the Republic of Turkey visiting the Gambia on a security assessment mission. The group comprises of senior Turkish police officers to help the Gambia strengthen its security ahead of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit scheduled for later this year. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that story.
Officials said the visit is for a need assessment of the country's security sector as part of Turkey's efforts to support the Gambia for a successful hosting of the OIC summit. The team will evaluate Gambia's needs in the security sector and submit a report to their government for possible training and logistic support to help the Gambia prepare for the OIC summit. Esa Bokarsi, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Gambia OIC Secretariat, said the need to build capacity cannot be overemphasized, and Turkey has been in the forefront of building the Gambia's capacity, especially in terms of security. Mr. C adds that Turkey's experience in hosting the summit is pertinent to Gambia's preparatory efforts, and their willingness to support is laudable.
The security of the country is well prepared when it comes to visible and invisible structures of the security. If it is about intelligence, yes. It's about practicality of people in uniform, army and the police, yes. And Turkey is doing a good job in that regard. I'm fully involved in it. I am the security coordinator of this facility and all the OIC projects. And we have a security subcommittee chaired by a senior official of the security, and also people drawn from various sectors of the security who are experts in their domains. And one of them is the one interpreting for the Turkish as far as the aviation is concerned, as far as security at the airport. And there are pointers, and I would tell you that if it is a map, there are landmarks. The moment they are secure, everything is secure. One of them is the airport, this is the entry point. The other one is the seaport, and the other one is this conference center. And of course, we are engaged in gathering and processing intelligence every day and every night.
The head of the Turkish delegation, Torge Olgon, speaking through an interpreter, highlighted Turkey's experience in summit hosting. He gave an assurance of their support in terms of sharing experience, knowledge and training frameworks as the Gambia prepares to host the second largest world event. Mfali Fadera, the head of brand and communication at the Gambia OIC Secretariat, expressed thanks and appreciation to the Turkish government for their continuous support in security and protocol training. He asked that the Gambia will benefit from the knowledge transfer, given Turkey's experience in hosting high-level meetings of various capacities, and appeal for more support for a successful hosting of the summit.
So in relation to our Turkish brothers, I would first of all like to say they have been very, very, very supportive and helpful from the beginning. In the area of security, as my boss said, in the area of protocol training, tourism, etc., etc. So we will continue to explore those opportunities to see how we can build up on that to make sure it's a win-win situation for both them and the Gambia, particularly Gambians, because we like to use the summit to build the capacity of every sector of this country. And we are very happy to know that Turkey is a reliable partner, a willing partner to support. The mere fact that this delegation, a high-level delegation of this magnitude is here, that in itself is a demonstration of commitment on their side.
While in the Gambia, the delegation is expected to meet the Chief Executive Officer of the Gambia OIC Secretariat, the Minister of Interior, the Inspector General of Police and Police Departments to gauge the summit security personnel and equipment resources and requirements. They will also visit the OIC project sites, including the conference center, airport and hotels. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Following the launch of another nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign by the Ministry of Health from the 9th through to Sunday the 15th of May 2022, Gordon Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF, the Gambia representative, has implored the public, including children as young as 12, take the COVID-19 vaccine and to follow the WHO guidelines. Ajibintu Drame tells us more.
According to the Ministry of Health, the latest vaccination campaign is part of the ministry's efforts to meet the WHO target of vaccinating at least 60% of the population. The new vaccination campaign will for the first time include children as young as 12 and is expected to cover all regions in the country. Gordon Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF, the Gambia representative, says COVID remains a threat and call on the public, especially family, to use the opportunity and encourage their children to be vaccinated.
We need to be more compliant, we need to be more rigorous, but especially the reminder, the pandemic is not over. Just because you see reports that there are very few cases that are being confirmed, just because you see that countries are relaxing their measures, should not give the population a false sense of security.
Myth, vaccine hesitancy. People's perception towards the vaccine are among other issues discouraging people from taking the jab, which is affecting reaching the global goal of reaching 70% target by mid-2022. To achieve this goal, a more daring approach is put in place.
The current iteration of this campaign will not be doing door-to-door, but will be doing community mobilization to encourage adults to get vaccinated, but to get vaccinated at fixed site centers and different community locations where the vaccines will be administered. In relation to children, what we do know from the evidence generated by the medical field as well as by public health authorities is that we know that children can get infected with COVID-19 and children can get severe complications from COVID-19. We also appeal to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to allow for vaccination teams who also visit schools.
With support from development partners, lack of resources is not a challenge, as the country possesses enough vaccines and a cold facility to store up to 1.7 million vaccine doses. Gordon Jonathan Lewis encourages the skeptics to be vaccinated.
We would be very happy to provide you with the correct information that would allow you to change your mind. If you're on the fence, considering, should I get vaccinated? Please receive accurate and correct information in order to allow you to make that decision that you want to get vaccinated.
Though many countries have lifted the mandatory wearing of face masks, and there is still misinformation leading to vaccine hesitancy, Gordon Jonathan Lewis says the Gambia should not let her guard down. urging the public to observe the WHO guidelines. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Ex-science students of Muslim High School Science class of 1995 donated over $100,000 worth of lab equipment on Tuesday to the school's science department. QTV's Ansumane Sonyasi attended the ceremony and he now reports.
Formed barely 3 months ago, the Association of Science Students of 1995 swung into action on Monday with a gesture the school's vice principal described as a blessing for the school, especially the current grade 12 students preparing to take their final exams in 2 weeks. Worth over $100,000, these items are expected to greatly improve learning in the school, especially for science students who have struggled over the years to do their practical lessons due to the lack of required lab apparatus. Fanso F. Bojang, the vice principal of Muslim High School, and Adegunji Adejiyu, the head of the science department, expressed gratitude to the science class of 1995 for extending support to their former school, adding that this demonstrates their appreciation for the school's contribution to their lives. They gave assurances that the donated materials will be taken good care of to ensure longevity.
On the 23rd February, when they registered in the principal's office, the principal called my attention. He said, we have guests that are here. They want to introduce themselves. They are ex-students of Muslim. I met the principal, but the people that I found on the ground, Jonjo Jiba, Anam Ja, I was so impressed because I know these people, when they are going to school, they are very serious.
On behalf of the donating class of 1995, Dr. Pamodu Sonko said they are proud to be able to give back to the school that gave them everything they need to succeed in life, and promised that the association will continue to provide the school science department with more support.
We decided to help Muslim High School, which was our school. We were students, just like all of you guys here today. And we are so proud, just learned that we are the first science students who came and donated items to the school. So we are very proud of that record.
Waka Masmbai, president of the Federation of Associations of Ex-Students of Muslim High School, and Moudu Jallo, the outgoing head boy, on behalf of the students, thanked members of the class of 95 for extending support to the school.
What is important is, and what we're expecting of you is, work hard. Work hard, believe in yourself, and prepare yourself to be giving back to the school. One fine day, we expect you to be doing the same thing.
As we, the grade 12 students, these materials will be of great help to us as we are about to sit our exams. So it came at the right time. And we encourage more of the ex-students to do more.
The Gambia Muslim Association, under the leadership of medical doctor and diplomat Ibrahim M. Samba, founded the school in 1975. Though it originally started as a madrasa in 1966, the school was established to give equal opportunities to Muslim youths in the Gambia who could not gain admission to the then missionary schools. Formerly based in Banjul, the school was recently relocated to Brusubi. Muslim High School is one of the senior secondary schools in the Gambia with a history of producing some of the finest public servants in the country. Its products include third and current president of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, Q Group chairman Mohamed Jah, Q Cells Anam Jah, the current Minister of Finance, and GCCI President Idrissa Mas Diop. Ansmane Sonyasi for QTV News.
Now, before we end this news bulletin, here is a recap of our main news headlines. President Barrow on Tuesday presided over the swearing-in of the new Vice President and ministers at State House. 3 young men have been charged with attempted murder after an incident in which 2 boys were put through a dreadful ordeal, which they did not think they would survive. The Gambia OIC Secretariat on Tuesday received a high-powered security delegation from the Republic of Turkey on a security assessment mission in the country ahead of the OIC summit scheduled for later this year. Following the launch of another nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign by the Ministry of Health, Gordon Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF, the Gambia representative, has implored the public, including children as young as 12, take the vaccine and to follow the WHO guidelines. Ex-science students of Muslim High School science class of 1995 donated over $100,000 worth of lab equipment to the school's science department. That's all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us again at 10 for another bulletin.